Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chiwendo, and if you are stumbling upon my channel for the very first time, you are welcome. And in today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you guys how to make a skirt with a pleat or vent at the back. So if this is what you are interested in learning, please stay tuned until the end of this tutorial. Now for this tutorial, we are going to make it a quick one. So you can see I have my lining piece and the actual piece on top the table, so I'll be cutting both of them together at once. And I also have the back and the front piece placed on top my table. So from the top of my fabric, I'm going to go down by 1 inch for the waistline, and then I'm going to remove 1.5 inches for the band, and then mark 9 inches for the hip points. Still leaving my tape on the waist point, I'm going to mark 19 inches for the knee point. Okay, and then the length of my skirt is 43 inches. Now once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and from the back, the folded part of the back, I'm going to go in by 10 inches. This is for the pleating allowance. So I'm going to mark this out on the waist down to the hem and then connect it. So once I'm done connecting this, I'm going to bring in the front piece. Okay, so you can see I've placed in the front piece, and whatever it is I'm going to be drafting out now, which is my body measurement, is going to start from the folded part of this front piece. So I'm going to go ahead and connect all my points, and then on the waist point, I'm going to divide my waist circumference by 4. I'll mark it out and then add 1 inch for that intake, and then 2 inches for the sewing allowance. Okay, once I'm done with the waist, I'm going to go down to the hip and then divide the hip circumference by 4 plus 2 inches for sewing allowance. Now whatever it is I have on the hip, I'm going to remove 1.5 inches from it and then mark it on the knee points, and then take it down to the hem. Okay, so whatever it is I have for the knee, I'm going to take it down to the hem. Okay, and then I'll simply go ahead and connect all my points together, just as you can see me doing like this. So once I'm done with all of this, the next thing, go back to the waist point and then divide your nipple to nipple circumference by 2. Okay, so the nipple to nipple measurement I'm using here is 8 divided by 2. I'll have 4. I'll mark it out from the center of the front, and then for the depth, I'll be making use of 6 inches for the front. I'll then connect it, and then on the waistline, I'll remove half an inch from both sides of that nipple to nipple measurements. Okay, now I repeat the same thing to the back. So on the back, I'm going to use depth of 7 inches. So once I'm done with all of this, I'm going to connect my dart legs. Okay, so I'm trying to remove half an inch from the waistline and then connect to the depth of the dart. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to input half an inch allowance on the waistline. Okay, so that I'll be able to use it to join the band together. And once I am done, I'm going to use my ruler to connect the points. Now that I'm done with this, we are going to go ahead and cut out our skirts and then input the zipper allowance. So I'm going to cut through just like this. So pay good attention to what I'm doing right now. You can see, and once I'm done cutting this, I'm going to go back to the back of my skirts and then input the zipper allowance. Okay, so from the center fold of the front, I'm going to come out by 1.5 inches on the waistline, and on the hip, I'm going to come out by 2 inches, and on the knee point I'm going to come out by 1.5 inches, and this is going to be for the zipper allowance. So I'm trying to connect all the points together, and once I am done, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, remember, like I said, the length of this skirt is 43 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut out from the waistline, and after that, please ensure that you notch your darts, and then I'll cut the zipper allowance. Okay, so guys, you can see the way I'm cutting this out. I'll not be extending my cutting to the hemline. So once I get to the knee point, I went ahead to cut from the back. Okay, so now this is what we have. This is what your front and the back should look like. So let me use my pins to hold the back in place, and then next we are going to work on the waist of the front. So you can see I've shifted the back downward, and then I have only my front piece. So from the waist of the front, I'm going to go down to 1 inch and then connect it back to the side seam of the waist. Okay, this will enable your waistline sit properly well on the tummy by the time you add your band. Okay, so now done trimming this out. Next is for us to go ahead and cut out 1 inch from the lining piece, because we need the lining piece to be 1 inch shorter than the actual fabric, so that we can have a neat finishing down there. Okay, so we don't want our lining to be coming out the normal way we used to do it for our skirt. That is what you can see me doing. So I've marked out the 1 inch and then cut it out. So this is what the back looks like. Okay, so now we are going to have to join our lining to the actual piece. So this is for the front. Go ahead and sew the down first, and then top stitch, and then turn the side. Now this is the back lining and the actual fabric. I'll go turn the hemline and top stitch, but you guys, before you turn all of these, ensure that the actual face of the fabric is facing the actual part of the lining. Now I am done turning the hemline. I'm going to bring it upwards and then turn the side seam. Now you can see the center of the back, what it looks like. So we are going to also stitch just like the way I'm showing you. Okay, so we are going to stitch around like this, and then also stitch the side. Now after all this, you're going to hold in your darts, and you guys, this is what we have. This is for the front, and this is the back. Okay, so you can see what the back looks like. Now we are here comes the main focus for this tutorial today. So we are focusing on the back piece right now. Okay, so I'm going to fold the back just like this, and then bring in the front, place it, making sure that the sides are aligning with each other, and then go ahead and mark out the zipper allowance. You can see I'm using my dotted line to indicate that. Now once I'm done, I'm going to remove the front pieces, and then go ahead and use my ruler to make this line visible enough so that you guys can get to see what I am doing. And once I'm done, from the waistline, I'm going to come down by half an inch for joining the waistband, and then go ahead and mark down to 10 inches and then 18 inches for the knee point. Now I'm going to sew from the waist down to this 10 inches using loose stitch, and then from the hip down to the hemline using tight stitch. So you guys, after I sewed this is what we have. I'm going to give it a good press. So once I'm done ironing this, we now work on the vents. So if you got it right, place in the front to match it up. You can see that they align properly well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place in the back again. So this time around, you can see I've already stitched down to the hem, and I am left with only the 10 inches that I left for the pleating allowance. So now from the folded parts, I'll measure to make sure that I have my 10 inches. So you can see. So now I'm going to divide these 10 inches into 4 equal parts. So it depends on how many pleats you want. So I want mine to be 4 pleats. So I divided 10 by 4 and I'm having 2.5 inches, okay, into 4 places. So I'm trying to mark it out, and then once I am done, I'm going to use my ruler to connect all these points together. Can you see what I'm doing? So once I'm done marking out these points, I'm going to go right to my sewing machine and run a loose stitch on each of the line. You can see what I'm showing you right there. So I've run the stitches, and you can see in between the stitch I have a hole right there. Okay, so I'm showing you for the upper part, and this is the down part. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and open it up just like this, and next thing I should do is ensure that each of these stitch is touching the seam of the allowance, that is the zipper allowance. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I'm pleating just like this. Okay, so I'll pleat the first one, making sure that the stitch is touching that line that goes through to the hem line, from the zipper allowance down to the hem line. I hope you understand me. After I pleat the first one, I will hold the second one, pleat it, the third one, and then the last one. Okay, and then I will go run a stitch right there using a tie stitch. Okay, this time around I will stitch with a tie stitch. So once I was done, I will give it a good press, and you guys, you can see that the pleat is coming out already. Okay, so you can see the way I'm ironing this. I'm going to iron step by step, one step at a time. Okay, so you know we have 4 steps right there. I'm going to ensure that each of those stitches are touching the line that I just explained. Okay, both for the upper part and the down part. So you guys, you can see what I have right there. So after that, I'm equally going to go ahead and loosen the loose stitch. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to do right there. So the initial plan is to run a loose stitch that you'll be able to lose once you are done sewing this. Okay, so guys, after we're done, this is what we have. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and bring in the front piece, pin it up, and then mark out your body measurements. Go ahead to your sewing machine and stitch the seams. Equally go ahead and fix in your band and the zipper. And you guys, this is exactly how to achieve pleats at the back of your skirt. I hope you found value in this tutorial. If you do, please do make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section if this is what you would want to try. Also subscribe if you haven't done yet, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.